Hello everyone, and welcome to my GH Soap Opera Today channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up.
Plus, Britt and Lucas plot to get Lulu her medication, and Nathan tells her she's his. Similarly to how Sunny consults Rick for guidance, Justine seeks it out from Jordan on General Hospital today. Also, regarding Britt and the 5 poppies, Cullum wants to ask Jason some questions. Outside of the brown dog, Justine smacks Sunny as she breaks off their kiss. She cautions him it will never happen again and rushes off. Nathan shares news with Lulu inside. Nathan meets Lulu at a table, and she leaps to the assumption that he's back with Maxie, but he assures her that's not the case. He tells her that Maxie went with Spinelli, and Lulu feels terrible since she knows he acts as if nothing has happened in the time they've been together. In light of all that has transpired, Nathan believes Maxie's choice is reasonable. What if Maxie had picked you instead? Lulu wonders. Nathan claims that he would have respected their marriage and James wishes if Maxie had choose him. However, if it were his decision, he would have opted to explore what's occurring between them. Also, find out when and where you can watch Evan Hoffer. What transpired between them, Lulu observes, occurred because Maxie was absent. And while she views him as more than a buddy, Maxie is still her best friend, and she doesn't want to upset her. Jordan meets up with Justine at the hatchet range and asks what's going on. Why did she contact her? Justine tells her about a case that fell apart owing to mismanaged evidence. She went to the brown dog for a much-needed drink, only to have Sunny give a sympathetic ear. She opened up and thought it wasn't as if he was trying for anything other than to be kind. Jordan observes Sunny showed her empathy, which he's capable of, but he is a complicated man, and he's still a crook. Jordan encourages her to consider yourself. If she had the opportunity, would she still prosecute him? Sunny opens up to Rick. Rick stops by Sunny's, having gotten his urgent message to talk, and figures his brother has been charged with something. Sunny says he simply needed to run something past him, and claims he kissed Justine. However, when she pulled him away and smacked him, she told him it could never happen again. Rick believes Turner may accuse him of harassment, but Sunny doesn't believe she will. Rick asks Sunny how much interaction he and Justine have had. Have they crossed this line before? Will it happen again? Sunny says what happens is up to Justine. Rick wonders if this is a ploy by his brother, or if there is anything serious between them. Sunny claims it wasn't a ploy on his part, so Rick asks whether Justine may be manipulating him. More, General Hospital alums sad break in their bedroom at the QS. Chase praises Brook Lynn for having his back with Michael, but she demands explanations. Chase reveals he is responsible for the PCPD receiving the warrant for Michael's keys, since he knew a key to Drew's residence was on his keychain. Chase claims he followed his intuition, grabbing Michael's keys and finding a key to Drew's residence on his ring. Because he interrupted the chain of evidence, he set Nathan up to be the one to make the discovery. She tells him Michael is not foolish enough to shoot Drew, frame Willow, and keep the key on his keychain. Brook Lynn informs Chase that he crossed a boundary, and the only reason for what he did is that he wants revenge on Michael for what he thinks he did to Willow. Chase makes it obvious that he truly believes Michael shot Drew and left him to die, then framed Willow for it to steal her kids. Brook Lynn argues that he just believes Michael did that, he has no evidence, and this may cost him everything, so is it really worth it? At Windmir, Pascal sees Lucas sneaking off after supper and tells Sidwell and Marco. Lucas claims he just got paged and needs to get to work, so Marco accompanies Lucas out. Marco urges him to phone and check in before he comes back. Marco kisses Lucas and runs back to his dad. Meanwhile, Sidwell and Pascal get into it again about Lucas, with Pascal believing that Lucas is a problem. Sidwell says he'll deal with Lucas and his son, and for the nosy butler to cease interfering and perhaps tipping them off about their concerns. Marco arrives to the house, Pascal walks out, and Marco offers to his dad that he and Lucas find a place of their own, or at least that Lucas should move out. Sidwell refuses to let Marco leave, as he needs assist control Cullum and Britt, and he questions whether Lucas is content here. Lying, Marco claims Lucas is happy here, but doesn't want Lucas to find out anything or see something he shouldn't. Sidwell asks his son whether Lucas has already become aware of something. How to get Britt out of trouble. Cullum swings by Britt's office at GH, and he is delighted with her work on their project. He adds now she needs to produce the real gadget prototype, and Jens is taking care of getting the components she needs. Cullum leaves her. Later, Lucas turns in and drops the bomb on her. He knows she's being extorted by Jens and Marco, as Marco told him everything. She believes Marco is as dangerous as his father, therefore he should drop Marco and stay far away from him. Lucas disagrees and claims he is attempting to get Marco away from Sidwell, but that can't happen until he saves her. So, how does he do that? Jason is questioned. Jason meets with Jack at his WSB office, and Jack fears Britt is in danger from Ross Cullum. Jason understands Cullum is Sidwell's partner, but doesn't say anything. Jack claims what he is going to tell Jason is classified. He doesn't know what Ross knows about the Five Poppies operation, but they cannot allow Cullum find out about Joss. He made a mistake bringing her in and wants Jason to assist safeguard Joss. Jack adds that he's blacked out Joss' whole record, and she's been put on leave, but they have to keep Joss off Cullum's radar. She has too many important contacts, which makes Joss a useful agent to Cullum. That's when Cullum breaks in. Jack explains he was filling Jason in on Ross' wish to see him, and he steps out. Ross believes Jason understands why he's here, but Jason doesn't know a darn thing and has no intention of talking to him or Brennan. Cullum believes this doesn't need to be a confrontational talk, and all he wants is to understand about the security issue at the Five Poppies. Jason reveals that everyone assumed Britt died 3 years ago, but he met her in Paris last summer and traced her back to that resort. All he wanted to do was get Britt out of whatever situation she got herself into. In the show's final moments at Sunny's, Rick tells his brother that he's the biggest fish any DA in Port Charles will want to land, so Justine may be manipulating this connection between them to collect evidence on him. At the hatchet range, Justine pledges to Jordan that if she had proof against Sunny, she wouldn't hesitate to use it. Jordan reminds her that Sunny could care about her, as long as she doesn't get in his way or hamper his independence. At home, Brook Lynn informs her husband they are seeking to adopt, and every element of their life will be under a microscope. He has to choose, adoption or justice. At the bar, Nathan tells Lulu they have an opportunity to see what this may be, and he feels it's worth a try. She motions her hand towards his, then draws back. Nathan asks if she wants this to be ended. In the WSB office, Jason continues to try to snow Cullum. He says he helped Britt get back on her feet and put her up with a house in town, but the instant she was back at GH, she decided she had no use for him anymore and cut him free. At Windmir, Marco tells his father that Lucas is a fantastic, trustworthy man and has no idea what is going on here or that he's involved in his father's company. Pascal eavesdrops and either doesn't seem to trust Marco, is envious of Lucas, or maybe both. Finally, at GH, Britt informs Lucas that Marco and Sidwell have an experimental medicine keeping her hunting subdued, in exchange for her performing what they want. The medications are under lock and key, so she can't acquire a sample to reverse engineer. Lucas believes, knowing that he lives at Windmir, maybe he can. On the next General Hospital, Lucas urges Ava to stay away from Sidwell before she gets in deeper, while Carly tells Valentine that they have a difficulty. General Hospital spoilers. Wednesday, February 25th. Carly and Valentine's complication. Ava's scary news. Jason warns Britt. General Hospital spoilers for Wednesday, February 25th, state that Carly Spencer will notify Valentine Cassadine to a problem when it comes to their alliance. Lucas Jones will also offer a frightening message to Ava Jerome while Jason Morgan makes a revelation to Britt Westbourne, so let's chat about what GH viewers should look forward to. At the Quartermaine estate, Harrison Chase will question if Brook Lynn Quartermaine is telling him they can't adopt until he lets go of his pursuit of justice, which is actually more of a spiteful chase of Michael Corinthos. Brook Lynn may argue that's precisely what she's saying and persuade Chase not to toss away their opportunity for a family. While Chase faces that dilemma, Cody Bell will meet up with Molly Lansing Davis after reading the remainder of her manuscript, so he may realize she was right about the character progression. Christina Corinthos Davis said Molly was going to reject down the book offer due of Cody's sentiments, but he'll believe that'd be a terrible shame and will give Molly a shove to press ahead with publication. While Dante Falconeri comes to Elizabeth Baldwin for a favor, Giovanni Gio Palmieri will get some excellent news. That may be about Emma Scorpio Drake winding up her trip and coming home. Next, Lucas will corner Ava and make it obvious that she has to stay away from Jen Sidwell before she gets any further. Ava may quiz Lucas about what occurred, but he could believe it's best if she doesn't know the facts. Of all, Ava doesn't get terrified easily, but she may indeed be a bit shaken by Lucas' warning. Even yet, that doesn't imply Lucas will succeed in getting Ava to back off Sidwell. In Carly's attic, she'll inform Valentine they have a difficulty, therefore this should be about Lucas comprehending all the danger at Windmir. Now that Lucas realizes the extent of what Sidwell's capable of, he won't be keen to have Carly around for wine nights or anything else. In fact, Carly feels Lucas should relocate out of Windmir ASAP, but he's not willing to leave Marco Rios behind. This is turning into a sticky scenario that'll make it difficult for Carly to conduct any sleuthing. Lucas also wants to help Britt and just hinted about trying to steal a prescription dose for her, so she may tell Jason that once they meet up on Wednesday's program. However, Jason will inform Britt that Ross Cullum is onto them, so that'll apparently be the conclusion he's reached following that tense encounter in Jack Brennan's office. General Hospital spoilers suggest Britt and Jason will put their heads together as they try to nail out their next move, so stay tuned. GH's Luke tribute has fans weighing in. Was it perfection or did they miss the mark? General Hospital's Luke died on screen years ago, but Anthony Geary passed away only recently. GH presented a final homage to the character and the actor on Friday, leaving fans with all kinds of sentiments. Key takeaways: GH created a loving homage to the legend of Luke. The flashbacks were fantastic. Jeannie Francis takes us back to the Luke and Laura days. Some fans wanted additional characters engaged in the homage. Love for Luke: it was a full hour of Luke, but as far as fans are concerned, it might have been a complete day. Lulu never grieved her dad, so she needed time to say goodbye. She and stepmonster Tracy headed to the Brown Dog, where they were joined by Laura, Sonny, Carly, and Elizabeth. The flashbacks were wonderful, young Luke and Sonny working together, his stormy but passionate relationship with Tracy, counsel to Carly, and a father-in-law to Elizabeth. But it was his scenes with Laura that elicited tears, their dramatic wedding, escapades, and the legendary scene in Wyndham's department store. Plus, Frances' acting when Laura talked of her love for Luke was sincere. Fans appreciated it all, a simple great episode from one. I loved seeing their memories and how Luke impacted their lives, was remarked on a Facebook page. Many more dubbed it a tearjerker. Not enough. Most GH fans were thrilled with the homage, but others always complain. Many voiced displeasure over who wasn't there, past and present. I thought it was very rude not to include Scotty, observed one viewer, with many agreeing. Others were unhappy when Lucky didn't make a surprise appearance. Longtime fans were hoping to see moments between Luke and his sister Bobby, which didn't happen. There are numerous characters still in Port Charles who weren't participating in the episode. Felicia, Anna, Lucy, and Alexis all had close ties with Luke. What did you think of the Luke tribute? Let us know in the comments section below. General Hospital spoilers next 3 weeks: Emma's reveal, Alexis' consternation, Cullum rattles Joss, Jason's in the weeds. General Hospital spoilers for the 3 weeks, February 23rd to March 13th, suggest that Alexis Davis is in for a surprise while Emma Scorpio Drake finds something out, Ross Cullum is a nuisance, and Jason Morgan prepares to leave PC. The week of February 23rd to 27th, the week of February 23rd to 27th reveals that awake Maxie Jones is stuck between the past and the present, between Nathan West and Damian Spinelli. Brook Lynn Quartermain plays mediator for Michael Corinthos and Harrison Chase in The Keycaper, even though it was Willow Kane was the one who placed the key to Drew Kane's house. Nonetheless, Michael is furious with Chase, and BLQ may be too, as she hears that her spouse is out to bring down her cousin. Giovanni Gio Palmieri has excellent news, as Emma won't be out of town too long because of Anna Devane. Cullum interrogates Jason, who goes directly to Britt Westbourne for a strategy session. Meanwhile, Laura Collins attends a news conference backing Willow as Drew's congressional replacement, upon Jen Sidwell's orders. This upsets Alexis, who wants to know why Laura did this. The week of March 2nd to 6th. During the week of March 2nd to 6th, Alexis is concerned about Willow's authority, but the latter may be setting herself up for trouble. How can she be in Congress and cope with her kids? This may cause her miss a medicine dose for Drew, who would become unincapacitated. Over with Valentine Cassadine and Carly Spencer. Rocco Falconeri might rumble them and their secret. The week of March 9th to 13th. The week of March 9th to 13th might see Maxie make a choice. Do you want her with Nathan or Spinelli? If it's Nathan, how will he manage Lulu Spencer and their hot kiss? Will this be the week when Cullum rumbles Jocelyn Jack's WSB role? Meanwhile, Jason Morgan is departing on a brief break, so we expect loads of stunning occurrences heading toward the departure. Spicy and soapy General Hospital spoilers suggest that the next 3 weeks are full of thrills and chills, so stay tuned. GH spoilers: Willow and Chase plot stunning getaway from Port Charles. General Hospital spoilers and updates hint that Willow Tate is on the edge of being unmasked for her transgressions very soon. Meanwhile, Detective Harrison Chase is set to find himself in deep difficulty at the PCPD. Even sooner could this disgraced team be leaving Port Charles together? Dante and Turner will discuss the evidence against Michael Corinthos next week. We will resume with Commissioner Dante Falconeri and DA Justine Turner finding what Chase has done. However, the twist is that they are not entirely aware of his deeds and are incorrectly accusing the wrong guy. While he may not have performed flawlessly, he clearly didn't do anything egregiously wrong. Sadly, he will carry the brunt of the penalties. Rick Lansing informed Dante and the DA that he had a witness who saw Michael Corinthos with Chase's keys in his hands. We predicted that Wiley Corinthos would finally tell the truth. You can always count on the kids to expose guilty people. You can always count on GH kids to expose guilty people. You all know that Chase grabbed Michael Corinthos's keys merely to see if one would suit the door of Drew Kane Quartermain's residence. Naturally, it did because Willow had slipped a replica of her and Drew's house key onto Michael Corinthos's keychain. By the way, this is the key that Tracy Quartermain reproduced from Scout Kane's key, thus she could know it. Tracy handed the key to Martin, and Willow got it from him. If you recall, Tracy handed it to Martin Gray when she entered Drew's house unannounced, and then Willow acquired it from him. That was when Tracy sought to regain the Quartermain heirlooms. However, this is all part of Willow's strategy to blame Michael Corinthos for Drew's shooting. It's fairly ironic that Willow's child Wiley spilled the beans and created a huge hitch in his mother's plan. Michael was taken aback when Nathan West revealed they discovered Drew's house key on Michael's key ring. Rick put a stop to Michael's arrest. Fortunately, Rick Lansing was present and promptly put a stop to it. Also, Wiley informed Rick that his uncle Chase had his dad Michael's keys. Consequently, Rick dropped the kids off with Willow and went over to prevent Michael from slipping into a trap. It looks that Rick, Michael, Dante, and DA Turner are all inclined to throw fingers at Chase. Turner had previously given Chase a hard time for his evidence during Willow's trial, when he hinted that the PCPD committed mistakes. This is why Dante demoted him to beat cop. Chase wasn't supposed to conduct his own side investigation to exonerate Willow. They are also aware that Chase was conducting his own side investigation into Drew's shooting while Willow was standing trial. To compound matters, Dante Falconeri recently asked Chase if he could rely on him to keep from meddling in Michael's inquiry and to obey orders. Chase, nonetheless, lied Dante straight to his face. Also, he told Michael that he ought to be in jail for this circumstance. In Chase's defense, he did not set the key on Michael's key ring. He was only examining which keys were present. However, it's probable that Rick, Dante, Michael, and DA Justine Turner would all leap to the conclusion that Chase was the one who put the key on Michael Corinthos's key ring. Chase was the one who hinted Nathan should check Michael's keys. Furthermore, Chase is the reason Nathan went to inspect Michael's keys. Nathan claimed that it was Chase who persuaded him to examine Michael's key ring for a key that might provide entrance to Drew's residence. This is just another reason why Dante and the others would suspect that Chase himself was responsible for planting the key. Next week, Brook Lynn Quartermain's husband is going to face the repercussions of his conduct. There's a significant likelihood that Chase will be sacked immediately. Dante will be enraged, both as Chase's friend and his boss. Dante will be enraged, both in his job as police commissioner and as a friend to Chase, considering this as a huge betrayal. The timing couldn't be worse, especially since Brook Lynn just informed Chase that they could begin the adoption process. They instantly reached out to Alexis Davis to ask how she might aid them in beginning their family. However, BLQ will most likely put a halt to that and inform Chase it's not feasible. They just cannot embark on creating a family while he stays hooked with Willow. Chase is obsessed with getting Michael arrested for Willow's crime. Chase is obsessed with undermining Michael Corinthos, whom Brook Lynn strongly feels is innocent, and he genuinely is. He's been pushing Brook Lynn to her limits with his ludicrous and undying dedication to Willow. This might very well be the breaking point for BLQ, particularly because Michael is part of her family. Previously, there was a leak from a reputable source saying that Josh Swickard could be leaving General Hospital. While this remains unsubstantiated and is only a rumor, not a spoiler, the present situation with Chase implies that he might likely quit Port Charles in disgrace. He will certainly lose his job, his close buddy Dante, and Brook Lynn may even insist on a separation due to this incident, perhaps leading to a divorce. Chase will try to prove that he didn't place the key on the keyring, and you can guarantee that Chase will seek to clarify that he didn't place the key, but he did interrupt the chain of evidence. And he breached multiple laws by grabbing Michael's keys to check for a match. However, this creates doubts. I doubt anyone will provide the benefit of the doubt to Harrison Chase, save perhaps Willow. Naturally, She will show him plenty of compassion while simultaneously feeling irritated that her plan fell through. Additionally, just so you know, Josh Swickard and his wife, Lauren Swickard, are expecting their third child. Their new arrival is due to come any day now. Josh may be getting ready to take a break for family time, so possibly Josh Swickard is considering taking a break to spend time with his family on their farm and step back from GH. Even if he did quit the character of Chase, that doesn't mean he wouldn't come back if circumstances allow. Regarding Caitlin McMullen, I haven't received any word concerning her departure from GH, but Willow's future is as questionable at this moment. It's conceivable Drew is going to have a visitor who knows Morse code, and he will blink his way to a rescue that reveals his deceitful wife Willow.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please don't forget to subscribe my channel without missing any update.